Hi, Tyler. Jake from Blamble and Glasser is meeting with you one last time here for kind of a closeout meeting. Um, how you doing this week?
Good. How are you doing?
Not too bad. Figured we start with just kind of going over kind of where we started with everything. So the technical approach we took from the beginning was, MCC needed a strong plan as it transitioned from a small market corporation really to a larger corporation, and kind of the growing pains that go along with that. Management needed to be involved. We got them involved to fix the efficiencies in the company as well as the talent pool and making sure that the staffing models were also up to standards. All of this was, being accelerated due to the situation, and that's what we were here for, was to give you a hand with that. We were assessing the landscape of the company, and we were interviewing both internal staff, external staff, and any kind of, different clients you've had as well, and then conducting as many surveys as we could to get some honest, anonymous data. Between the two different call order one was trying to really figure out how all of the different structures of the organization, the plans of the organization were kind of in place, whether that was in place to encourage development further. Second call order was all about the talent pool and trying to figure out if that was correct, identifying that talent pool, as well as kind of bringing it into place and figure out what's going on with the staffing models as well to see where we could optimize that plan. So during the discovery phase, we found some interesting things to go over. The first thing was really defining a strategic plan. And it seemed to be that, just there wasn't really anything in place to really throw it out there. Clients and even your employees knew that, there was kind of a strategic plan. They knew the mission of the company by heart, but that strategic plan really needed to be in place. None of them really knew what it was. And we feel like that's pretty, glaring issue that we needed to fix. And we did. We worked with HR and got the materials in place within basically 1 month of us starting. We gave them that deadline, and they got materials out. We designed a questionnaire to ask people what they wanted to see from it, and it seems to have been accomplished. Now we're reporting that over at least 80% of people in the first get-go, without any kind of remindering, are understanding the strategic plan. So that's been a big plus, I feel. Another big issue we saw was there was really no customer satisfaction kind of reporting style or just kind of way to monitor it in place. There was nothing there. And some leaders within the company, who shall remain nameless, were kind of frustrated about it. I'm sure you've probably heard little gripes here and there through the grapevine. And basically, there was no way to determine kind of the success of MCC other than a few anecdotal evidences. This gave ability for the company to be able to actually use something to gauge whether they were doing a good job. And especially when you get bigger, a lot of stuff can get lost in the wayside and by the wayside. So that being the case, we'd actually found that back in 2010, there was a robust quality assurance program that, based on some money issues, whatever the case was, this quality control program got thrown to the side and got discontinued. Well, we revamped that because it had a great set of bones to it. And HR and management were able to put in their 2 cents and get it up and running. And hopefully within the next month or two, we've done some little tweaks here and there with a few clients, and they seem to really like the program. It's very interactive for them and very user-friendly. So far the results have been positive. We'll see how your clients, receive it eventually in the future. We also look at here, there was some internal communication improvements that could be made. We found that there was no real system in place for easy communication across all the offices. We tackled that by working again with HR and the management, and even getting some lower employee, kind of their opinions on it, because sometimes they need to get there without any kind of help, without kind of management help. They need to be able to get in touch with other management or other people within the office. And the questionnaires went out, came back positive, came back with what we need to do, and we created a platform in place that hopefully through the use of it, it'll improve efficiency between the management structures, and we believe that it's working pretty well right now. We've heard some positive things. There's still some things to tweak, which we'll continue on doing, but otherwise it is working well from the beginning. That was all kind of on at least the call order one side of things. Moving on the call order side two, we also realized that there was just some need to kind of revamp the pipeline maybe a little bit and identify it more. And but we'll get to that in a second. What I wanted to touch on first was the development of a succession and new hire plan. There's really nothing in place, and what we kind of discovered in the discovery phase of things was that there's employees that are really great. Most employees are, and they really know their structures. They really know their roles and what they're supposed to do. However, there's a higher turnover in the company than you probably like, just because people move on to other jobs. But the problem is there's no real new hire plan in place that's allowing these people who are getting hired new to kind of get up to speed with the people that are leaving, getting up to that level. we kind of went over it with some management who were still there and everything, and they definitely said there really wasn't a plan in place or kind of any structure, videos, pamphlets. There was the occasional employee handbook, but it wasn't really updated and fresh. So we kind of realized we needed to work with HR and work with management to kind of develop a new program to allow your new hires to kind of get up to speed, especially as you transition. You're going to be hiring a lot of new people, evaluating a lot of talent. We'll need to get that moving as quick as possible for you. And the succession plan seems to be working with a couple new employees we've had. We've seen an improvement from about a 14% kind of success in certain milestones to about 30-40% just with our short implementation of the program. So already off the bat, it's proving good dividends. And it seems that it should be good. And by the end of the year, we should have a real good idea because we've already got a good thing in place, but we'll finish our evaluation by the end of the year. And once that gets figured out, we'll figure out a way to tweak it anymore if we need to. Otherwise, we also know that because of that, which kind of goes along hand in hand, is we didn't really get to cover it too much, but there is a high turnover in the company, and I'm not sure if that's an internal issue or if it's a pay issue or something of that nature, but that's definitely an area for further exploring to kind of try to figure out what we can tweak as a company for MCC in order to be able to try to retain those good employees, because we don't want them leaving. We want them staying within the company and helping it grow. Another thing we realized is talent pipeline identification. There really wasn't a kind of pipeline in place. So again, working with HR and management type officials, we've been able to try to develop kind of an identification program in order to try to really fix the complex nature of getting an evaluation of talent coming in to be able to actually, officially bring new people in as well as send them out into the field. Still some growing pains on that. We're trying to work on that. Another area that needs a little more improvement because it's obviously always changing with the landscape of employees coming in. I feel like that's probably really better. We try to tackle these main issues. I think moving forward, try to think of anything else I haven't covered yet, and I suppose just kind of leave it open to you for any questions you have for me or ways you think we could do things better for you.
Yeah, no, I really liked everything that you had to say. I really like that you're bringing back the program that we had back in place for 2010.
Yeah, that quality robust program. It's really neat.
Yeah, because due to money issues and stuff, we had to kind of push it off to the side at the time. But I really like that you're bringing it back and kind of revamping it. I think it'll really do us well in that regards. I really like the idea of kind of putting together a formal training program. I know hearing from some of the other managers that sometimes it took employees a little bit longer to catch back up to where we wanted them to be at. So I really like that you're doing that and kind of kicking that off for us. I know some competitors of ours, some other companies I've worked with in the past, they've kind of, to help with retention, is kind of having like a program in place for our employees that kind of benefit them for staying with us long term. So I don't know if that may be something that you could look into or something like that. We could definitely try and work something out to try and keep our retention and kind of cut down on the turnover rate.
Yeah, for sure. Just definitely email me that list, and I'll get my project lead on it to see, if he can figure out anything, give him some calls, and we'll try to get feedback as soon as possible because we've enjoyed working with MCC, and we hope to work with you guys in the future. We'll definitely get right on that, if you allow us to, and sounds like a plan for that.
All right, no, thanks for touching base, and I really appreciate everything that you've been able to do for us so far.
Cool. Yeah, and as we finish up with everything, cleaning up the little odds and ends, we'll hopefully send you a last final report in the next week or two that'll have pretty much everything we discussed about here, along with stuff we talked about in the beginning, just in a nice, concise, report, as well as where you've identified some areas that we can actually continue to pursue, and anything we think that MCC might want to try to do in order to further its growth as a company.
Okay, thanks.
Cool. All right, Tyler, we'll touch base with you next week at our second to last weekly meeting, and we look forward to working with you.
All right, look forward to it.
All right, cool.
All right.
All right, have a good one.